Hello, today we're going to talk about information retrieval. So this is the introduction about information retrieval or IR. So what is IR actually? It deals with the representation, storage, organization of, and access to information items such as documents, web pages, online catalogs, structured and semi-structured records, and also multimedia objects. IR also includes modeling, web search, text classification, system architecture, user interfaces, data visualization, filtering, and also languages. IR consists mainly of building up efficient indexes, processing user queries with high performance, and also developing ranking algorithms to improve the results. So, in our next lecture in this semester, we will learn about searching, we will learn about web crawling, about text classification, and also learn about the algorithm to do improving of the result of the web search. So what actually be the problem of IR? The goal in information retrieval is to retrieve all the documents that are relevant to a user query while retrieving a few non-relevant documents as possible. The user has to translate the information needed into a query in a language provided by the system. So this IR problem to retrieve all the documents is we can see in web searching. If you use the the Google search engine to search for some documents, you must put the query, not only the query actually, but the text that you want to search for, such as you want to search for the best place to eat in Surabaya. So the Google search, the search engine will look for all of the documents existed in the internet for that keywords, for the keywords of what is the best food, what is the best place to eat in Surabaya. The documents can also in form of PDF maybe. The documents can also in the format of the web pages. It means that the search engine crawl everywhere to search for the documents that connecting to Surabaya and also connecting to the best place to eat, some kind like that. So these are the problem of information retrieval, how we can retrieve the best information, how we can get the specific and also the best information as it can be, so that the user will be satisfied about the results. The second sentence about the user has to translate the information needed into a query in the language provided by the system is for the data retrieval. If you use the SQL query maybe, or maybe you are very usual with the SQL or maybe the database system, you will use a query to get the data. You will use some kind like select all from this table where the condition to get the information. No, to get the data come out from the table in your database? Well, actually in information retrieval, we combine all those query and also all the algorithm to search for the documents in the jungle of the documents in the internet. So in the next slide, we will learn about the comparison between the data retrieval and also information retrieval. As we can see there, that data retrieval, the content is about the data, but in information retrieval, the content is about the information. The object in data retrieval is the table, but in information retrieval, the object is the document. The document can in any format, of the web pages of the document in doc, also in PDF maybe, and also in format of picture, maybe in videos. It can be anything. And how we match the query with the information that we get or the data that we get. In data retrieval, the matching is the exact match of the query that we put into the search box, or maybe it has to be matched with something that we want to search for. That's kind of like the example that I have told you before. Maybe we can find the data in a table. If we have the table about the selling table, or maybe the product table, we will search for, select all products from the product tables where the product name is Coca-Cola maybe. So the result of the query will be 0 with no data about Coca-Cola, or maybe the result will get all the data that contains the product name Coca-Cola, maybe Coca-Cola with 500 milliliter bottles, Coca-Cola with 1 liter bottles, some kind like that. But in information retrieval, the query that we use is the matching is only partial. For the case of I want to eat seafood in Surabaya, or maybe you can search for seafood in Surabaya, the result can be match all of the sentence that you entered into the search field, seafood in Surabaya. The result may be the restaurant, maybe the menu, or maybe the review of the restaurant seafood in Surabaya. And also maybe any kind of seafood, maybe some shrimp, or maybe clams, or anything, or maybe fish that you can find in Surabaya. Maybe the seafood market, maybe not only the seafood restaurant. It can be anything, or maybe any kind of food that contains seafood that you can find in Surabaya. It's the matching of the query of the keywords with the documents that we retrieve is partial in information retrieval. Maybe we can, the result of the information retrieval is we can get the image of the seafood restaurant in Surabaya. We can get the video of someone who reviewed the food, the seafood in Surabaya. We can also get the information about the price list of the restaurant seafood in Surabaya. That's the difference between data retrieval and also information retrieval. So the next object is items that we wanted from data retrieval and also from information retrieval. The items wanted from data retrieval is the items that we get is matched with what we want, with the query that we put. But in information retrieval is something that relevant into that items. As the example before about the seafood in Surabaya, we can get something that are relevant to seafood and also relevant to Surabaya, maybe any kind of news of Surabaya, any kind of place that offer the seafood in Surabaya, anything that match that relevant into seafood, maybe only the picture of seafood, maybe shrimp, clams, or fish, anything, or maybe also the beach. You can find anything. And the query language in data retrieval is artificial, but in information retrieval, the query language is natural. You can put on, you can search for anything with your own language. You can search for in your own language such as, I want to eat the best nasi goreng in town. That's our language, not the system language, not the query language. But in data retrieval, you must create a language, or maybe you have to use a language that the system will understand, such as select all, where, or maybe I want to select all from this table, join with the table. That's the artificial language. That's the language that not all the humans understand. But in information retrieval, you can use your daily languages. You can use the language that you usually use with your friends, maybe, or maybe with your parents. But this is the natural language that you can use in information retrieval. Maybe you want to search for the books, the best books about information retrieval. Maybe you want to search for anything in Google search, and maybe in search in other search engine. The query specification in data retrieval is complete, so it must there should be what is the table, what is the condition, such something like that. But information retrieval, it can be incomplete. The model is deterministic in data retrieval, and in information retrieval it will be probabilistic. But and the structure in data retrieval is high, and the structure in information retrieval is less. That's the comparison between data retrieval and information retrieval. And the next one is the information retrieval architecture. These are the high-level architecture of an IR system. We can see here that there are web crawler if the document is a web collection, and this there is nodes here only needed for web IR. So these are the user that using the query. He searched for apple here. He put an apple, the word apple, in the search engine, and these are the query that the system will do. Apple, and also the query is parsing, and also it is expanded, and this one is the system using the Apple word as the keyword to query. In web crawler, if we search for this apple in the web, The web crawler searches for Apple in all of the documents. It searches for Apple in document collection or in central repository. If you have a repository of documents, repository of books maybe, it will search for all along the central repository. And the indexer will do his job to index which are the best document that match the best matching with Apple keywords. There will be an indexing process here. So it will be inverted index. So Apple will be on the first one, and then banana, chili, etc. And the result of indexing process will be sent to the retrieval and ranking. And these are the answer about the query. And this is what we got. So these are the architecture of information retrieval, the software architecture of information retrieval. If we have the document collection, maybe you are in a library, maybe you have all the documents there in library, but your library isn't online yet, and you have all the theses, you have all the reports, you have all the magazines, all the books in your library. You have thousands of documents in your library which are already digitalized. And so if the user who came into your library search for something specific about the title of the books, maybe of the title of the thesis, or maybe any other subject that she or he wants to search for in the library, she can search for it in your web, in your library webs. So, or maybe in your library system, she can enter the query or the keywords in the system, and the system will search for all the database, all of the database that in your library. It will search for maybe about, I want to see, or he want to search for economics subject, economics matter maybe. So the searching process will dig into the database of your library system. It will search for with the query entered by the user. It will search for about the economy matter. Maybe it will, the result may be about thousands of books or thousands of theses about the economy. But if she made it specific, maybe macroeconomy in 2019, maybe it was search for only the books in 2019, or maybe 2019 and later. So the result of the system will give her more less result, but the thousands of results of the document, but only maybe 100 of documents. It can contain any kind of documents if we use the crawler and also the indexing, and not only the search in database, not only in the catalog database of the library, but also all of the documents that already digitalized in PDF format maybe. So it can search also not only in the catalog, so she can find where is the shelf of the hard copy of the documents, but she can also get the digitalized format of the documents because the system already able to search for all of the documents that contains the subject, the matter that she wants the macroeconomy in 2019 maybe. So she can get in the documents in PDF format maybe. She can also get all of the images that contains the matter of the macroeconomy in 2019, but not only the data about that document, not only about where the shelf is, where the book is, not only the location of the book that we can get from the database, not only like that, but also the other documents that maybe she can download or maybe she can buy in library. So that's are the big picture of the information retrieval. Here we have the document collection. So you have to collect all of your documents. You have to digitalize all of your documents in the information retrieval. And after that, you have to prepare the crawler if this is in a web collection. The crawler is usually used by the search engine. And also you have to prepare the indexer. It will make it will sort the documents with an index that these are the documents that that match with the query inputted, and the retrieval and ranking process will include query parsing and also expansion, and also system query, and also retrieval and ranking after the index already cut. So it will create the parsing of the query into the system, and also the retrieval and the ranking, so we can get which are the first ranking and the second ranking that we will show to the user. After we got all of the index and also the ranking from the documents that we retrieve, that we try to crawl from the web collection, it will show us the list of the documents that we need according to the query that already inputted into the search box. Okay, so that's are the explanation, a brief explanation about information retrieval and what we will learn during this semester about information retrieval. Okay guys, so hope you enjoy this lesson. See you.